Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the SQ1 Champions League. We are on week 5, day 1, and we're on to our second game tonight, which is going to be an absolutely tremendous one here on YouTube. It is going to be Black Rose Gaming coming off the back of a win, taking on Fuzzy Esports in a match that is going to be pretty hype. I am, of course, Viper, and I'm joined by Varys once again to take a look at this game. Varys, are you excited for this one?
I actually am. I really am. Despite jungler no ganks coming in for the top lane, he does actually play top laners. So don't get baited by his name. And the rank difference isn't really much. So they're around similar ranks. They both play very similar things in terms of picks. So if they draft well, I feel like this would be a very close game.
Yeah, of course, we did see Nakes up in the top lane on the first game of today for Black Rose Gaming, as they did manage to take down GG in a very exciting close game. We are going to see these bans coming through now as we are in Champ Select. We've got Vladimir and J4 being taken away by Black Rose Gaming on that blue side, with Nunu and Yuumi being taken away by Fuzzy Esports.
No surprise that no one really wants to play against Yuumi. She's a really obnoxious champion, so it's just a very standard ban. And it's kind of a surprise to see the Aurelia ban, considering you have a top laner who has 125 games on Renekton. I suppose they just don't want the opportunity of that flex pick being on the table, and I feel like we're just going to see the same with the Aatrox again.
Yeah, it is being hovered. The Nico has been taken away though, so that's not going to be on the table for the Lizard this time around, as the Aatrox is locked in. We saw Nakes pulling all the pressure on that one last game, but it's going to be Sivir locked in for Fuzzy Esports. Calzada picking up that one, and the Lux. We saw Heats with a lot of nice engages last time around on that champion, so it looks like Fuzzy Esports have got themselves a very strong bot lane if they want to shift Lux down to support.
Such a powerful draft here already. Like, knowing that they're going to pick the Aatrox, they trade it off for 2 power picks, which is the Lux and the Sivir. Sivir right now is like the premier AD carry wanted by nearly every team, because she does everything you want her to do. And we're actually seeing it. I'm hyped. I'm really hyped. We're actually seeing Vorte bring out his Ivern, because he never gets it through, and when he does get it through, he ends up playing something like Jarvan. So I'm really hyped to see this.
It's going to be an exciting champion, of course. He's got a very eclectic gameplay style on this Ivern. He's not a tank, and he's not a damage dealer. He's kind of a support in the jungle who does make ganks very easy and can keep his team alive for such a long time. So we're going to have to see how he can do alongside this Kalista, which has also been locked in. We saw McFreeze play that against GG with massive amounts of effect. The Gragas is going to close out the first round of picks over Fuzzy Esports, and that's quite a versatile champion who can do a lot of work on his own.
I do think the Kalista's a very interesting pick here. Sure, you did have a very good game in it last game, but into picks like Lux and Sivir, I think it's a lot more harder to make work, especially as even in pro play, you'll see bot lanes lead towards Lucian Braum as an answer, as Lucian's is very good at putting that early aggression onto Sivir, not letting her scale as well as she does against other champions. So I do think it's interesting to see this come through.
Yeah, Morgana and Silas being banned away in this round of bans. You want to get rid of that Morgana. Very strong support going over with Kalista, and the Nautilus going away as well. They don't want to give too much power down into that bot side. Renekton and Silas being taken away, trying to help out jungler no ganks a little bit, as well as Lizard on whatever he decides to pick. Very, very quick on those bans though, as we do go into pick phase 2. Fuzzy Esports looking for their solo lanes, probably assuming that Gragas is going to be in the hands of Shafty. We're going to see what they decide to pick up.
So I'm going to throw you something here.
Okay.
TF's still open.
Okay.
And the ADTF has rose in popularity in a massive way. It could come out this game. It could, because the Ivern can buff up that TF as well as the Kalista. So if the Kalista's down in a team fight, you have that TF as an option.
That is very true, and TF would look quite good in the hands of Z as well if you want to go for that more global comp, with the Shen being locked in, probably up in that top lane. McFreeze is going to lock in Rise for his team over, probably in the mid lane, could be flex top if they so desire. But we're going to see what they round out their composition with. They're going to need a support for Heats XD, and that has come out of nowhere. That's a Fiddlesticks lock-in.
This is going to be a high game with all the picks what have came through. The Shen's a very good answer into the Aatrox, but we don't think I don't think, actually, personally,
Ooh.
Aatrox will be going top this game. At least I wouldn't if I was the side of Black Rose. Because Ryze get to scale for free in that top lane against the Shen. I do think that would be better for him. But maybe Lizard is more comfortable in this Ryze pick than Jungler No Ganks is.
Maybe, and we're going to see the Yasuo closing out these picks, going to Z in that mid lane. One of his preferred champions, and that's going to close out a very interesting comp. The TF, we're not going to see it. We're not going to see the Corki, none of this Roman nonsense. We've just got two guys who just want to fight in that mid lane.
So it's interesting to see that Yasuo's came through. Not only that, though. So what we have been seeing in pro play recently is Yasuo Gragas bot lane. Instead, it's not in the bot lane, but we have the Yasuo Gragas combo, which just is so effective together. And I want to see how they're going to play around this Yasuo. Because I think that is where they should throw all their eggs in this game and just go for the Yasuo comp. Bot lane should be fine, self-sufficient. You've got TP, you've got even the heal on the looks instead. So I think if you're the side of Fuzzy Esports, you just want to stay safe bot and camp that mid lane. Use all your resources onto this Yasuo, because as soon as this Yasuo gets ahead, what can Kalista do against the Yasuo? There's a wind wall that's going to block half your damage. By the time you actually get some of that damage off, you might get Gragas body slammed or ulted or taunted. There's so much to consider here.
Yeah, for sure. Yasuo is quite a good pick into this one. I'm excited to see how Z plays it. But yeah, you've been saying that this Yasuo Gragas bot lane, it has been picked up a lot in a lot of different regions and a lot of different pro play. We've seen it especially prevalent. We've seen it in the UK scene a lot with players like Special and Kasing moving on to champions like this and showing dominant performances on it. I'm really excited to see how this Aatrox Shen matchup goes, because Aatrox, a very, very strong aggressive champion, can get those knockups with a lot of sustain, but Shen can do a lot of damage of his own, and with what I assume will be Grasp of the Undying, he might go in for those quick free auto attack trades and get out without taking too much damage. So It's a Bumblebee might be looking for his trades of his own, and we saw last game, if Aatrox gets quick traded onto without Grasp of the Undying, he can have problems.
Yeah, and this is one of the main reasons they do pick the Shen into this, is exactly what you just said. You can get that quick trade onto him and just dip out. You can get back out without losing too much. And the Spirit's Refuge, the W of Shen, actually matters so much against Aatrox because he can't get that passive auto attack off to gain that HP back as much as he would against other champions. So Shen will go toe-to-toe with this Aatrox for a long time in this game, unless there's some intervention in top lane.
Yeah, we've only got about a minute until we start loading into this one, so do you have anything super insightful you want to say about either of these team compositions? Have you got a general layout of what they want to do, or do you want to go on any of the picks? I know there's a Fiddlesticks out there that looks quite interesting. I know that you like the Ivan from Vartej. What's your like final summary before we get into this game?
So I'll start with Black Rose. So you've got a Fiddle in the bot lane. As soon as that bot lane turns level 6, I want to see a 4-man dive bot lane.
Ooh,
That's what I want to see from Black Rose, because it's so easy to execute when you have a Fiddlesticks. People underestimate this champion's damage and forget he has a silence which bounces. It's super obnoxious to deal with and can just be very volatile, and I think that could just be the way to snowball this entire game from the side of Black Rose. And as soon as, obviously bot lane's going to be 6, Ivan will be 6 100%. So he'll have Daisy as well to help tank that bot lane to dive. So that's the main thing I want to talk about Black Rose. And especially the fact that as soon as Fiddlesticks disappears into Fog of War, you have to be scared. Like, you have to respect his damage. You have to respect that you could get ganked from over a wall, because Fiddlesticks has weird gank patterns, like Ivan in a way. And then on the side of Fuzzy, I just want to see everything put into this mid lane. I want to see all the resources in to try and put this Yasuo ahead, because he is your main damage source in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see how this game goes down. You've got this Yasuo being on a team that can very much legitimize and make sure that he is working optimally. And over on the side of BRG, you've got this Fiddlesticks bot lane, you've got this Ivan in the jungle, you've got some untraditional picks that are going to look to legitimize stuff like Rise, stuff like the Aatrox, very strong solo lane potential. And it's going to be very exciting to see how this one goes. We are underway, of course. We've got Black Rose Gaming on the blue side, we've got Fuzzy Esports on the red side. It's all happening in the SQ1 Champions League right now. Where's the action going to be? Because I know you were wrong last game about where the action was. Can you redeem yourself this game?
Yeah, I was wrong. I'll happily admit it, because the Camille jungled really smart, and we've seen such a good performance from Samus. Personally, again, I want to see it top.
Okay.
I am a top laner myself, that's why I know how much this can actually matter, and especially in matchups like this game and the same as last game, both matchups is very volatile. If Aatrox falls behind once against the Shen will bully Aatrox till very, very, very late game. Till Aatrox has that 30% CDR with his cleaver and his death stance. And by the time he gets that, it's a long way away. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the priority thrown towards the top early. But, big emphasis on but. We have a Kalista in the bot lane. We've seen how aggressive they play bot lane. I think if you're the side of Black Rose, you want to protect this early game. So I want to see where Ivan starts, because if Ivan does the 2 buff, which obviously people always forget about with Ivan because he's such a weird jungler and he doesn't need a leash, I think that could be a very interesting thing to see where he's going to throw the game himself.
Yeah. We've got Ivan starting down on that bot side, but he's going to be doing his bit of a weird clear, having to move up and then come back and collect all his camps. Shafty is going to start on that red buff and is going to pick that one up quite quickly. I'm going to watch these two junglers quite a lot as we see Heat stepping forward to get a little bit poked. As we said, the Fiddlesticks bouncing silence can be so oppressive, and especially on someone like Lux where you need your abilities in order to be useful. Heat, if he's careful about this and is quite proactive, could really shut down this bot lane over on the side of Fuzzy.
Yeah, so to go back to the silence, that could literally interrupt a Lux full combo. And that's the difference between someone getting out of that binding and slow without getting the Lux ult on top of it, the final spot. So it matters actually a lot in this matchup, and I think it's a really smart pick from the side of Black Rose.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks is a champion that we don't see very much of, but in these kind of situations can be super oppressive in lane, especially with that bouncing silence, with the fear, and being able to sustain. In the topside, jungler Ganks trying to stamp his authority on this Shen up there by jumping around. Of course, Shen can stop auto attacks coming through, but he can't stop the Q from Aatrox. He can't stop the damage coming out from that one, so he's going to have to be a little bit careful, but Shen should be alright in this kind of matchup.
Yeah, you're just going to see short trades, proc the grass, walk away, proc the grass, walk away. That's mostly going to be what the matchup's going to be. He's going to want to do his best not to get shoved into tower, because Shen can have issues farming under tower, especially when someone has big AoE spells like Aatrox.
Yeah, there might be action in the bot lane as Heat has flashed forward to try and get some damage down. The Ignite is rolling. Rock Bengi might be the target as Cal is going to be drained for a little bit of life. Both members of Fuzzy Esports' bot lane get away on less than 100 health, and they might be forced to back away, but here comes Shafty looking for the gank. Has used that Predator, does get a lot of damage onto Heat, who is going to fear, and now McFree's looking to get the damage from the bush. The double buff is on him, and the shield will land from Rock Benji, but there won't be a snare, so nothing lost, nothing gained from either of these teams. But a couple of key summoners are used as Shafty might look for the return gank as Rock Benji comes forward, gets the slow, gets the root onto Heat, and here comes Shafty. No Predator though, and no damage from that cast yet as McFreeze jumps forward, trying to get a kill before he inevitably goes down. Shafty looking for damage, won't be able to get it onto McFreeze, but there will be the first blow. It's taken over as McFreeze gets that one for himself over onto Cal the Turtle, who then manages to get the return kill. So both of these marksmen get kills in what was quite an odd first blood situation in the bot lane.
Well, I can say I redeemed myself.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you were like, yeah, top lane. You need to just start saying bot lane, dude. That's where everyone gets involved.
I said I wanted to see it in top lane, but I knew it was not going to happen because there's not really priority thrown towards the island, which is top lane. And we know how aggressive McFreeze likes to play on this pick.
He does.
And because of that, he does get abused for it. But he did actually get the first kill first.
is important as Lizard gets engaged on by Z. There's a little bit of poke as the Wimble comes up to stop any return damage as he dashes to and from, just getting away after half-healthing his opponent.
We see the CS starting to add up now. Sivir is getting ahead in this bot lane. They do pink ward, both the river and the lane, to try and provide any assistance to Gragas actually coming into Snowboarder's lane. We see the Fiddle get a hard chunked out from this. Now what more can they make happen?
Oh, they can get the root, they can get the damage, they might be able to pick up a kill. That is an easy one there. Rock Bengi picking up that one on the Lux. Fiddlesticks, he needs to step forward to get this harass and poke down, but he's a very squishy champion and you can get punished very easily like that.
Yeah, when you're not able to actually get off your aftershock, you're going to get bullied because of this. And that's exactly what just happened.
Yeah, we did also see some action in the top lane. Highest Bumblebee is going to be forced to back away as Jungler No Gank stamps his authority up there. As we see a push coming down from Fuzzy Esports in the bot lane. They've got 2 kills to 1 at the moment. But we saw Black Rose Gaming fall behind in the last game against GG as well, and they were able to pick up the win there. Spoiler alert, if you're watching this before you watch that game over on YouTube. But Vartage is looking for the gank now. Here comes Heat, getting that silence, bouncing it around, and the kill will be taken up by McFreeze. We do see a gank briefly in the mid lane before the disengage. The kills being even up 2 apiece. Small gold lead going over to Fuzzy.
So you can see how unorthodox this Ivan is, and he just pops up at the right place, right time, and just makes that gank happen. This is gonna become more of a thing that we need to watch. We're gonna need to watch where he's pathing, because he's a weird champion, and people still forget about what he does a lot of the time, and don't expect any damage whatsoever from this champion.
Yeah, they kind of see it either, and they're like, oh, this is fine, whatever. And then he'll half health you with his Q and his shield explosion, and then you're like, oh, what's going on here? And he's going to be very quick. He's gone for that Moby Boots rush to allow him. Not only will that speed up his clear as he is looking for an engage and an invade onto the enemy red buff, but he's going to be very, very helpful and can help with ganks in different ways, keeping his allies alive and getting engages rather than looking for anything in terms of his own personal damage, which he does have a little bit of.
So one thing I wanted to note, which I have noticed, Shen has picked up Bami Cinder. So the reason I want to point this out, Shen, one of his main reasons to him getting popular and his win rate spiking up is Shen players are rushing Titanic Hydra.
Okay.
And when you see this, the win rate rises by a drastic amount. I don't know the stat off the top of my head right now because I don't have it up, but it's a massive amount. And you see a lot more success in the games of Shen's when they do rushes to Fennec Hydra.
And United used into that bot lane. Shafty is looking for the gank. McFreeze is taken to half health. Has to use that heal to try and get away. 4 members of Fuzzy Esports are down there. Don't manage to pick up a single kill. And they've now given free reign in the top side. Jungler No Ganks is going to be able to solidify that lane a little bit as the root comes down onto Heart's Bumblebee. There won't be too much to engage though. A lot of resources used down in that bot side for Fuzzy Esports, and they fail to pick anything up. They might be looking for the dragon now, looking for the engage. Vartage uses that ultimate to try and force them away. It'll be a 4v3 on this dragon because mid lane is tied up in its own 1v1. Daisy will split out, but this Infernal is going down. Teleport coming in from Aatrox in the back of the pit. The Infernal might be too late, but the fight will be on. Heat looking for that silence as the Infernal is on 400 health. It's smited, it goes down. It's going to be taken down by Shafty, who then falls himself. Bumblebee going down as well, and now Black Rose Gaming are in full chase. Cal the Turtle is going to go low as Vartage gets the kill onto Highest Bumblebee. Fiddlesticks on the backside pretty low, but is able to help with his team as Vartage is looking to take down Rock Benji on this Lux. We do see members of the blue team coming through as well. Rock Benji burning down. One more auto will be enough. Jungler No Ganks picking up that one. Very well played from Black Rose Gaming. They lose the dragon, but they pick up a whole bunch of kills and the gold lead.
You can see how much they early committed into getting something in this bot lane from the side of Fuzzy. And they got nothing off this, and because they got nothing off this, it led to them actually losing this dragon fight. If they got one kill, literally one kill, it would mean they couldn't contest the dragon. Because they didn't get a single thing, Black Rose are able to retaliate, and they retaliate big.
Yeah, it was kind of a desperation move to go for dragon there. You go for this massive play bot, nothing comes from it really. You say, okay, well now we've got all the members, we're going to have to go to dragon because we should win this with 4 men. Mid laners 1v1ing. They're not going to be too involved, but then Jungler No Ganks gets to push up into top lane to punish Highest Bumblebee for his engage. That's an interesting ultimate there from Shafty. That might have been a misclick, but it's okay. It's not the longest ability cooldown, but you do see you see that more than you should in this league. You see ultimates being thrown around, but now Shafty, he might have a bit of a problem. He's being called out. Lizard is there, as is Vartej, but Z is turning up. It might be a 2v2. He's going to be going on to Lizard. He's going to put up that wind wall. He's going to chase down the shield. Might be enough to force him away as he misses. That knock-up Predator is being run by Shafty now. Who's going to look to chase? Imagine if he had his ultimate. He's going to be looking for the Ivern. He's going to manage to get the knock-up. He's going to manage to get the damage down with the ultimate from Z. The burn might be enough to take down Vartej as more members turn up. Rock Benji and Bombi will force the stopwatch from Vartej, who will fall. It's going to be the Lux picking up that one. That is her second kill of the game on the support and the third for her team. But now there might be problems for Fuzzy. They might have overextended. Heat is slowed. Rock Benji goes low. Is going to be dragged back. Is the sacrificial lamb as Lizard picks up that one to even out that fight 1-for-1. But it's still looking pretty good for Black Rose Gaming. They lose their jungler, but they pick up a kill on the way out.
Still falls back to if only you had that ult on the Gragas, if you had that explosive cask, you could have got 2 kills instead of 1 there. And I think that would have mattered so much more. And from that bot lane trade, by the way, from the Dragon, I wanted to point out before things broke out, Aatrox has a 1.1k gold lead in top lane right now. So it's going to be near impossible for this Shen to actually stop Aatrox at this point. And he has a full black cleaver, which is a massive power spike.
Oh, it's looking pretty rough up there for Heights of Bumblebee. He's going to have to make his plays elsewhere now, because going one-on-one against this Aatrox with the item lead and the gold lead, it's gonna be a struggle for him. Aatrox doesn't have boots yet, might be a little bit slow, but Shen, luckily for him, he's going to be able to alter around the map. He's going to be able to make proactive plays elsewhere, because right now you can't really stand up against this Aatrox, and that could be problematic. We've seen how split push can work earlier in this league. A lot of teams enjoy the split push as the pause will run down, and we will continue. And with an Aatrox in this position, it could be very, very potent over on the side of Black Rose.
And we do have the redemption coming through for Ivan now. This is just classic Ivan, basically. You'll see us come through a lot. He doesn't really finish his jungle item. He would just grab all these spot items. He would get a Fiend's next.
Bot lane, here comes the Crow Storm. He's taking quite a lot of damage as he jumps onto Civ Advantage, looking for the support of Rock Benji, who's gone the wrong way. Might be the victim of this gank as 3 members and Daisy look to chase down the Lux. McFreeze is going to pick that one up with a nice javelin toss. Very well played by him, but the Civet does manage to get out and might look to defend the tower. 3 members of Black Rose are pushing onto this one. They want to get plates, they want to get damage down, and Civet's going to be forced to back away. If they commit to this tower, they might be able to get a lot of gold off it.
You can see what I said earlier about the draft. As soon as that Fiddle 6 disappears and he is level 6, you see the dive, you see the Fiddle just jump over that wall, and he just exposes them. And because of this, they're able to get this tower and snowball this bot lane even more. And this is ideally what you want to be aiming for. Aatrox is just going to run riot in top lane. He's not going to need any help. So this Kalista is going to snowball this game, so you know you need to sit around her.
Yeah, you don't need to be helping the Aatrox too much. As we just saw, he can scare the Shen back to his tower and get a decent amount of damage down in the bot side to get that first tower, which is going to be so vital. Kalista has 4 kills already. She's having a great time. McFreeze once again showing why he likes this champion so much, and there hasn't been too much response from Fuzzy. They are now looking towards that Rift Herald, but they're going to be chased away. Members of Black Rose Gaming are the ones who pull the trigger and start the objective. There are members of both teams around this one though, so we could see a skirmish picking up. Rock Benjamin around the side. Doesn't get a snare, only gets it onto Fiddle 6. The final spark will be used, but he will be dragged away by McFreeze, thrown back in instantly as Shafty gets taken down. Lizard will be the one with the kill credit, but a lot of that has to go down to McFreeze and Heat's going for that proactive play.
You can see as soon as they got that tower in the bot lane, there was no hesitation into this lane swap. They do lane swap, they get a Rift Herald, and they're just going to send the bot lane top. What can Shen do against this? He cannot do a single thing. This Kalista is just going to be able to siege this tower. You have the Herald now. It's being popped.
It's going to be popped. It won't be cancelled as the Herald comes down in the top lane. 3 members of Black Rose looking for the siege. They want to get the plates before they dissolve. It's going to be a lot of gold coming up in that top lane as Vartej is looking around the side. Might look for an engage, but is rooted up. Daisy comes out, but it won't be enough to catch onto Lux and Sivir, who are going to be able to back away. But they might look for another charge from Rift Herald. members of Black Rose Gaming are hanging around in that top side. Will they fight? Will they charge? Who knows? We've jumped bot to watch Aatrox and Shen go at each other 1v1. Moving towards top side, looks like an engage from Z. He's feared though, he's running away, but he's going to use Daisy to dash back forward. The root and the knockup will be enough to assuage anything there, but Cal the Turtle's still in pursuit. She's on the hunt for blood. Vargin's coming down, but look at that. Haste gets the massive Crow Storm off. Z gets a double knockup and some damage there, but is going low. The Ignite is running on Cal the Turtle as well, but Heat will be the first victim of this fight. Lizard on the side looking for the kill onto Z and will manage to get it as the Aatrox coming in, gets 1 kill, gets 2 kills, taken away from Lizard to get this double kill for himself. But that is a turnaround. Black Rose Gaming looked like they were in a bit of trouble for a second, but then they remembered, we've got the run of this fight, and they pick up a lot of kills.
The problem being there, your Yasuo only had a Zeal. If Yasuo had his PD or his Shiv in that team fight with that double knockup, it would have been a lot more explosive, and it would have mattered a lot more with that knockup. But because he doesn't, because he is behind on these items, Black Rose are able to just shrug it off, and Rise gets there in time. They mop up the rest, and they should just be looking to snowball this game more and more. They should be looking to throw multiple people mid lane right now, get that tower, and then we still have 5 minutes for the Baron. We're only 15 minutes in.
They're looking in a very good position, Black Rose Gaming, but I will say, they haven't won this game out yet. We've seen teams come back from bigger deficits. Phoenix Horizon did it just last week with an amazing performance on the stream to come back from about a 9k gold deficit to beat Stopwatch. Are we going to see a repeat from Fuzzy Esports? The thing with Fuzzy Esports is they've looked very good in every game they've played so far, but they have sometimes just lost out in big ways. They came up in their first game against actually CBA and looked really, really good, but didn't manage to get that win. They've got the pieces together, but they are sometimes struggling. In this game, you've got to look at some of their players. Shafty hasn't been having the best game. We've seen some questionable decision making from the bot lane as Z and Jungle and No Ganks are going at each other. We see how Bumblebee coming in with the ultimate to try and get a kill on Aatrox. Aatrox will go low, will have to flash away, but Shafty looking for the damage. The ultimate will be used and he'll get that shot down. That is a big amount of money going onto your Gragas, and you're going to be happy with that. The Dragon is traded over, but you're not going to worry too much about that.
I think this is the main thing you're going to be looking for as Fuzzy Esports right now. You're going to be looking at these bounties on the enemy team. You have Rise left, you have Kalista left. That is a lot of gold sitting in that pocket, and you want to be aiming for these bounties to get you back in this game. And it will slowly add up. It's going to get even better for you. Like, that pick right there is so massive, even though you traded the Dragon for it.
Yeah, the Dragon, it is a Cloud Drake, so the movement speed is going to be picked up by the side of Black Rose Gaming. In fact, no, it wasn't. It was an Infernal Drake being picked up over on the side of Fuzzy Esports. No, I'm confusing myself again. It was the Cloud Drake going over. I'm losing my mind. It's been a long day. There's been a lot of fights. We are going to see the Cloud Drake picked up by Black Rose Gaming. They're going to be able to move around the map a lot more effectively with that Dragon. But of course, you do have the Infernal over on the side of Fuzzy. So in terms of Dragons, you're looking reasonably good for both sides. But of course, kills 12-5 at the 17-minute mark. There's a massive gold lead over for Black Rose Gaming as they look for a bit of a practice play in the mid lane. But MoFreeze, regardless of how strong he is, he's not going to be able to start something big on his own.
You're right, and he's caught out here.
But
nothing comes off it because they don't have the damage yet to actually burst through him. But right now, what I want to point out, Rise is going towards that Righteous Glory build.
Oh.
So I love seeing this build because it's so consistent in my eyes.
Yeah.
It makes you tanky, you're able just to be more mobile, and you're able to actually just catch people for your team at the same point. It just does everything you want. It gives you mana to give you more damage, HP is always nice on Rise, and just the active free slow. It's always a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it's a very nice build, and as you say, it's very consistent. It's not like the high, low, lows inconsistency that you sometimes get on some Rise builds. You're always going to be a little more survivable, so you're going to be able to put out a little bit more damage on this champion than potentially you would if you just went full AP. As we're seeing a bit of a tussle in the bot lane, the Crow Storm was used by Heat in the mid lane to scare off the members of Fuzzy as they do manage to crack open that mid lane tower. All the outers are gone now. The final spark will not land onto anyone, so that's another thing that's used. But again, Rob Benji, that's quite a low cooldown, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Lizard is going to be knocked forward with the ultimate from Shafty. But you've got to ask, what was that ultimate being used for by the Gragas?
That is a very good question. I feel like they was wanted to pick out the Callista there and hit her with a barrel to try get a Yasuo ult on. Other than that, I don't think it was really intended for much more, because it wasn't intended to kill the Fiddlesticks. One, Ivan's shield would actually save him, so I don't think it'd matter about that. Obviously, you've seen it hit the rise and they didn't act on it. So the only thing I think it was for there was just to catch out that Callista, but they didn't manage it.
Yeah, they did manage to catch a Lizard, but as you say, he's a little bit tanky on this champion. He's going to get a massive shield coming in from that Seraph's Embrace as well. So, he's not really the person you can catch out if he's with the team, because he'll be able to survive through, and other members of the team will be able to pile on. If you catch out Lizard, you're not going to kill him before Jungler, No Ganks, and McFreeze have melted through a couple of members of your roster. So, not the best target to catch if you are on Fuzzy Esports, but they do still have catch potential. They've still got the Yasuo, they've still got the Gragas. So, they're not out of this one by any means, but it is looking quite good for Black Rose Gaming at the moment.
Yeah, and we see the items coming through now. We see the QSS on the Callista, denying pick potential from your Lux, and even just cancelling that Yasuo. You can cancel that when you're in the air with a QSS. So it does actually really matter. There's such a big pickup, and we've got the Fiends coming through for the Ivan, just giving your team more survivability. So the item differences are starting to show now. The part what Fuzzy should be waiting for, they want this Infinity Edge on Yasuo. As soon as he gets this, they can make more happen. Sivir is nearly at a second item, and we see 400 gold in the pocket of Yasuo. So he needs about 900 more gold to get towards that Infinity Edge, but right now they turn towards the Baron.
They have, and it might be contested by Fuzzy. I don't know how much they're going to want this, but they do have members hanging around. BRG might be looking to disengage from this one. They're going to go for the Scuttle Crab instead, as Daisy is going to be the target of that route. They're not able to take this under strong contest just yet, but they do manage to bait members of Fuzzy Esports around to allow Aatrox to get into that bot lane and allow him to get a bit of a push off. It might be the dragon that they're really going for. That's a very quick objective, and I don't think Fuzzy Esports is going to commit too much to the contest.
You can see the very quick rotation by the side of Black Rose, saying, we're going to take the safety, we're just going to take a second Cloud Dragon. And I think this is a really good move by them. It's really smart, it's really safe, not risking any of your leads in a Baron throw, because at the end of the day, you was doing Baron, but there's still the explosive cask and the Yasuo ult still on the table. Sure, it's not going to do as much damage as you'd want in an ideal situation, but it's still going to stop you doing that Baron.
Yeah, we're seeing a player coming in the top side. The Rise ult is going to bring heats to the party, as it's now looking like Yasuo will fall. Z has not got much help. He's only got the Shen ult, but McFreeze has already cut through the Yasuo, and now Shen is in the wrong place, wrong time. Shafty looking for the disengage. Does manage to get a bit of a slow, and the ultimate will knock McFreeze back, but the rest of the members are still there, as Lizard will pick up that kill. McFreeze actually the one with the kill credit, as a nice double route will pick off Aatrox and Ivan, Rotbenki, and Cal the Turtle, though. There's not much they can do on that top side. They're going to have to just force out the minions. And we could see another Baron play starting up. Heat's moving forward, getting the silence. But it looks like Baron might be the real objective here, as it's already been started up with members of Fuzzy not able to contest. Jungler No Ganks picks up Rob Benji, and now Cal the Turtle and Shafty are the only two members around. I don't think they're going to be able to put up much of a fight, as this Baron is already going low, and with Callista, we know how she does with this one, and it's going to be picked up by Black Rose Gaming.
So, you know the part about the cast curse?
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely tainted with this, because every time I talk about a combo, I'm talking about the Gragas Yasuo, the Yasuo gets caught, so there's no way they can actually stop this Baron. And this is the second time something like this has happened today. I've mentioned it, they've heard me, they've done it. And because of that, Black Rose get the Baron, and they're able to actually just snowball this lead even more. Sivir does have that static shift to help with wave clear, but it's still just going to be extra difficult because there is a fed Aatrox in the game.
Yeah, the Baron buff could be enough to give Black Rose, I'll never say insurmountable lead in this league ever again, because of what I've seen from some of these. I've seen some comebacks that you wouldn't believe imaginable, but Black Rose Gaming are going to be able to take a lot of bricks with this Baron buff. They've got 5 towers down already and haven't lost one themselves. Shafty is over the backline, might be looking for some kind of flank engage onto members of Black Rose Gaming, but they're going to get some silences down, and he is pretty squishy, even with that Zoya's looking for damage. Does manage to get the ultimate from the Yasuo, but he's going to be dragged out instantly by the Kalista. The Fiddlesticks isn't really a target you can grab with these kind of abilities, because he's always got a little note button on his good friend McFreeze, who can just grab him out.
People just generally forget about the Fate School and forget that it can literally just cancel whatever you're doing to him. You could taunt him, you could body slam him. You had a Yasuo coming through, and it just got cancelled out by the Fate School, and we've seen this a lot today, especially in the games earlier. And people just forget about what Kalista does, I think.
Yeah, like, she's not a champion we see too much at the moment, but she's coming back into favour a little bit, especially with McFreeze here. He's been putting on a clinic in the past couple of games, and now Black Rose, we did see him take down that bot tower just a moment ago, but he might be in trouble fighting against Z and Rock Benji. Will fancy himself, though, as Shafty is taken very, very low in that defense of that mid tower. It looks like Black Rose Gaming want to siege out, want to be getting their first inhibitor tower of the game, and it will fall at 25 minutes. They crack open the mid inhib. As we see Heat coming in with the ultimate, it's just non-stop action as McFreeze is dominating, absolutely erupts Rock Benji, and now the inhibitor might be the goal. Black Rose do have 5 members with only 4 on Fuzzy Esports to defend. They are looking to use those Baron minions and lose their long-range damage. The inhibitor will fall, and now it looks like Black Rose Gaming, they're going to shuffle around a little bit. Bot lane Wave is looking in a good position. They're going to look for another siege. Will there be any kind of defense from Fuzzy Esports, or will they melt away?
You see, the Rise was debating whether to move towards that top lane. He changes his mind. He just moves straight back towards that bot lane, knowing that you can just hard siege here and force a fight. And just back off. They just give the inhibitor, which is smart by them, and nothing else should come off this.
Yeah, we could see the fight engaged, though. Here comes the Yasuo wall. McFreeze's Godlight has already taken down Shafty, and Z is in full retreat. Goes down. Double kill over to McFreeze, as the rest of Black Rose Gaming are looking to cut through. The Sivir is fallen as well, as Lizard comes through, trying to get onto that Lux, who is healing quite a lot. Won't go down just yet as the Stan United comes through from the Shen. Quadra kill for McFreeze, but it doesn't look like there'll be a Penta, as Highest Bombay is standing in the base. It looks like Black Rose Gaming is setting up for this one. Here comes the Rise ultimate. They're going straight into the Nexus tower, and it might be a Penta. Will it? No, it won't be. It's going to be the ace picked up by Jungle No Ganks. Triple kill coming in for the Shen in Fountain. It looks like Black Rose Gaming failed in their quest for the Pentakill. They will manage to get down one tower, but they might have thrown this one away because Shafty is up, and other members of Fuzzy are turning up. 3 members of Black Rose Gaming died in that fight, but Shafty can't do that much. Use that ultimate, jumps people through. Jungle No Ganks full. It's going to be counter picking up that one as Lizard is cut through as well. It's going to be the counter ace, and did Black Rose Gaming just get a little bit too cocky?
I think they was very greedy for the pentakill, and they obviously wanted that. But I don't think this is going to affect too much. Although there is some big bounties going over, it could be a lifeline for the side of Fuzzy Esports. We could actually see more come of this. We just need to see how proactive they're going to be from this. They're going straight for the dragon, which is good because it's a second Infernal on your team. First Infernal, it doesn't matter too much, but when you've got a second, it does start to add up.
Yeah, it's kind of like the lifeline was given to Fuzzy because they gave the quadra kill. Had those kills been split around, it would have been the end of the game. Black Rose Gaming would have just run it in and got the end. But because McFreeze wanted the Penta and the rest of the team was like, yeah, alright, they do lose the fight. Of course, as I say, Black Rose Gaming is still in a very, very good position. They've got over a 10k gold lead right now, so they're going to be looking to get just one more fight that will end the game, I imagine. They're setting up and moving towards this mid lane. They know that they can take it. They've got 2 inhibitors, and they are confident in winning these fights. But Fuzzy Esports, they might be looking to use the gold that they've just been handed to get a pick. And McFreeze has been hit by the Yasuo ult. The final sparks come down. His GA is popped, and he is in the middle of a very bad situation. Heats is using that ultimate though to try and get his friend out. Goes gold. McFreeze has got the kill onto Shafty as he pops back up. Cow Turtle in full retreat as Lizard and Juggling Gags get him out. Highest Bombi being chased around by Kalista, ring around the Rosie, but he will go down. No, he won't. Wolves at the target now, as Highest Bombi might have been slow too long. Uses that blast cone, but does fall. McFreeze getting the kill on the backside as Vartej gets his own kill onto the Lux. I think that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. At the 28-minute mark, it's going to be Black Rose Gaming picking up their second win of the week as they take down Fuzzy Esports.
despite the fountain dive, I think that was a very clean game from Black Rose. And something I wanted to highlight. So, last game we seen the Death Dance rush on Aatrox. This game we seen the Black Cleaver rush on Aatrox, and you've seen how much it came online earlier with the Black Cleaver. That's something I generally just wanted to point out and just say, like, you do see a bigger spike in the Black Cleaver because that 20% CDR just puts your Q on such a short cooldown for the Aatrox, and you're just able to harass a lot more in lanes. So it's definitely something to keep your eyes on when you see Aatrox players. You'll see bigger impacts usually from ones what have the cleaver first.
Yeah, the Aatrox, as you can see on your screens right now, ladies and gentlemen, the most damage in the game, 15, almost 16k damage coming out of jungler no ganks, and he really did a lot of work in this game. Now, I'm very excited to see how Black Rose Gaming do going forward, because we were saying they were kind of a top 2 team alongside actually CBA, who they did fall to last week, but they've just picked up 2 big wins, and actually CBA don't play until tomorrow, so it's really going to be on them in this title race to step up big time and get a couple of wins for themselves tomorrow.
Yeah, and you're right. So the thing I wanted to mention as well is our team's actually going to ban this Aatrox from Black Rose. They've played it nearly every game without fail, and teams just give him away without thinking that he is a power pick in this current meta. I want to see a team take away Aatrox from Black Rose and try contest him on something different top lane and see what else they can pull out of the bag. Because today we finally got to see the Ivern, which did work really well, but I think still the Aatrox was one of the main stars of the show with the Kalista.
Yeah, I think it has to go down that way. The Kalista was very consistent over the 2 games that we saw from Black Rose this week. Aatrox as well being picked up in both of those games. You've got to start thinking, teams are going to have to look at these champions and go, do we really want to face these champions? Because Black Rose are super consistent on them. In games where they go very far ahead, they can close out with ease, as we just saw against Fuzzy Esports. Tower, like Nexus Dive, removed from that conversation because that was just a bit of fun, but even against GG earlier today, that game was very, very close, and they started off quite slowly. But with these champions, they really got back into it, and they looked dominant, and they can beat any team in this league if they're playing like they are today.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. And I think if you're Fuzzy Esports today, you have a few things to look over, but you also have some positives. Like the focus towards your bot lane was really smart. I did like the focus what you did, but knowing when to back off is another thing, because committing for a dragon when you got nothing kind of comes back to bite you a little bit. But you still have some positives. You still did some good plays, and I think they actually could contest some of these teams in this league.
Yeah, I think they really can. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, the SQ1 Champions League Week 5 Day 1, as we have just seen Black Rose Gaming get their second win of the night against the Fuzzy Esports side, who had moments of brilliance, but ultimately kind of fell short in a lot of key areas. I've been Viperoon, I've been joined by Varus. Make sure you tune in again tomorrow on Tuesday, or, you know what, you're watching this on YouTube. Maybe you can scroll forward or back. There might be a lot more League of Legends games that you can enjoy at your leisure. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again very, very soon.